Is that any better? Okay, I'm not sure why that didn't. Yeah, okay, so basically the last 7 minutes talking and not realizing that my microphone was not connected for some reason. Literally spoke to someone else on another Twitch user I know about checking this before you stream, and I didn't notice it was happening when I streamed. Well, I think I pretty much asked for that one. Right, so I guess since no one can actually hear me for the for 7 minutes of that, we have been yeah, doing science. Well, science mode, KSP. Um, Apologies for the 7 minutes of silence, but it was probably preferable to me talking. So yeah, we just got some science from this landed science lab on Minmus. We are looking to let's go back to the space center because we're done here. Um, we're looking to unlock a parts for building a Duna lander, which we now have 582 science, so we should be able to unlock heavy landing, which gives us the 10-meter heat shield, which should be like way more than we need for getting through Duna's atmosphere. But I want something that's incredibly draggy, so we're going to buy that. And then hopefully we can sneak some more. What does specialized control give us? Oh yeah, that gives us the Verner engine, etc. Now we care more about science experiments. So hopefully if we can get electronics, which is 300, and scanning tech, then we can really load ourselves up for a mission to Duna. Um, but yeah, so we've got what we need there. So let's head on into the VAB. Load our Duna lander. So we're going to modify this slightly. So I say modify slightly. I was thinking of, having said that, because these directly below, I don't want to risk damaging the legs by having engines on here. So first thing we're doing is we're getting rid of this, and we are sticking our big boy heat shield on here. Is the plan. So the idea being that yeah, if we inflate this, then hopefully that should give us nice amount of drag to slow us down before our parachutes kick off. And I'm going to go 4 big parachutes. Let's make sure the hatch isn't. I don't think the hatch is blocked. Cannot transmit science is potentially an issue. That does mean we don't have a communitron on here, which I do want in case we need it. So we'll stick this on here. And I'm thinking of adding another couple of parachutes just to be on the safe side. Let's be on the super safe side, and also possibly adding set this to Duna for now, to make sure we don't lose too much of the and I feel like 4 big and 12 stroke shoots should be enough, because we use engines to like slow down for the final landing, but I suppose we could stick another couple of radial mount parachutes on here, but we just want to make sure we don't obscure the doors. Couple more drugs, and oh yeah, we need to make sure that these are 2000 and 3,500. So 2,000. 3,500. This is just to be super. Give us a lot more like leeway to sort of figure out what we're doing. Where are these? These are here. Those want to go along with these 4, and these want to go along with all of these. There we go. A few more parachutes. Do I want to bring? What do we have in terms of deployable science experiments, which is in cargo? I believe we have the weather analyzer, which is useful for Duna. GU monitor, useful for Duna. Control unit. I think the ion detector is not necessary, so I'm thinking if we add a couple of these on, then we can bring our oh yeah, let's sort out our cargo. I'm thinking if we stick a couple of, we don't want 4, we want like 2. Like here, although I don't want them to be intersecting the like here maybe? Yeah. I'm just kind of a bit cautious of not being able to actually like access them. Having said that, if we can access this one, then we can transfer things between them from inside the ship. So if we go into the cargo mode, so yeah, the command pod's got our experiment in it. So if we're bringing an engineer with us is the plan, so we'll be able to get the most out of these photovoltaic panels. So we stick this in here with a photovoltaic panel, weather analyzer with a photovoltaic panel. We don't have a communications dish, but which might be a better idea. Capacity does this have? 180 versus 60. Okay, so it might make more sense to bring these along. Having said that, we do have some space in here. We do have quite a bit of space in here, don't we? It's a shame these aren't stackable. If anything, actually, we could probably put these repair kits in here. Like that. And so we've got our external control station, that weather analyzer, right? I think. ED monitor. And I guess we can try sticking a communications array and a communication dish in there if we need it. But I think if we have an engineer deploying these will produce more power, so we should have enough there. And what's these like? That's 1200, which is not amazing, but if we switch this to vacuum, then we get make sure this is I think we'll be okay. also wondering if it's worth sticking some more things just to help our descent. So I'm thinking one of these, and I feel like this might be a bit too much, but essentially gives us a lot more control. I don't think these are that heavy, are they? We're adding like another like half ton onto it. I think that's looking good for our descent, and then eventually ascent stage. Now we need essentially like something that will deorbit us. Again, it's looking quite tall at the moment. Let's do our action groups for this. So make set for landers, which will be our. So 10 will be to toggle our panels and our communication antenna. Actually, we want to bind all of these to 5. So you do crew report. That, because then we can grab our site. We can grab science from I think like what I think I will do is what we basically like skim the upper atmosphere and do our and skim the upper atmosphere, do science from the upper atmosphere of Duna a few times, then like go in for a descent. I'm wondering if it's worth popping our like descent engines on our like orbital and sort of deorbit engines on here. And if we can set them up so that they're so I think they're probably like far enough away that they shouldn't hopefully not interfere with these. But I don't want to risk it. It's a bit wary of sticking the I think I'll do for action groups for now. So yeah, so now we want to get this whole thing. So my plan at the moment is to have like a small engine bit here which will do our orbital manipulation. So leave this on Duna vacuum, then we can add another stage here, which will involve a TD25 decoupler. And then like maybe like one of these. And what is a poodle like? Yeah, 798. Again, things looking quite tall at that point. And I'm a bit wary of tall things. Yeah. Because tall things are long things, and long things can wobble. What we could do is, instead of putting this on here, we take this whole thing off for a second, we pop on a structural tube which gives us a mounting point for some radial decouplers, hopefully. Especially if we make it a little bit longer, like that. I'll leave this for now. So the kind of idea being that we can attach our deorbit engines below all of this. Then we jettison them, we inflate our heat shield, and hopefully everything goes swimmingly after that. So I'm thinking, where's coupling? There it is. There are our radial decouplers. Like so. We add on our these kind of fuel tanks. They're not quite lined up. For that, again, they're not exactly perfect, but I guess it should be fine. Let's make these white. Let's add some Terrier engines. Oh, it's Ludes. Well, that'll do nicely. See if we can't strut this up a little bit. Not sure if we can even strut it here, but nope. Maybe to the top. Nope. Maybe to here. Yep. This is looking quite similar to my previous, my first design. Nope, that's not having it. That's fine. It's fine. It's just still pretty tall, but hopefully it won't be too horrendous. Add some more Separatrons. How much does this thing weigh? This is 50 tons and counting. If we had a couple of Separatrons, just a couple. Add these to here, just to give us a bit of so we fire up these, then we get rid of them, then we jettison the heat shield, activate our landing engines, parachutes, get rid of the parachutes, the parachute modules, and then we have a final stage for hopefully getting back into orbit and hopefully rendezvousing with the mothership when we're done. So now we need to build a transfer stage will get us there, which I believe, if we recall, is like 930 plus like another what 700. So yeah, about aim for about 2,000 delta V in total for this stage in order to get us into a nice orbit. And then the more we have, the more fuel we have, the better. So what you want is a 25 decoupler, or I'm just a little bit wary of because I want to try and design the interplanetary stage so that we can use it to refuel the main ship after we've done like docking of this thing. But to do that, I'm probably gonna need a bit of a noodly stack separator. Stack separator with a engine plate. Currently in long configuration, but we probably want to make it like a little bit like a medium configuration maybe. Then we turn off the shroud for now, and we stick our like refueling docking port in here. So this will require, what I'm planning on is a TD12 structural tube, like here. Make it that's too long, a little bit longer like that. Give us a bit of then we stick a Clampertron docking port on there. The idea being that like this, we can then use this thing to refuel everything. To refuel our into like our transfer stage. I actually wonder if we can. No, we'll leave that for a second. We re-enable our shroud, like so. Then we smash one of these on here. Put our control stuff inside. We'll also strut this bad boy up in a minute as well. So we want some command and control. We want some hex. Hopefully right way up hex. Configure the naming. So, shove a bunch of powers on the some power on the side. It'll stick a big old solar arrays on the side there. You close this. I wonder if we can strut this up a bit. I'd be surprised if we can, but yeah, it'll do. And I can't put it there. Just like an attempt at some more like security. When in doubt, do struts. My God, this thing is long. Alright, so we've got that. Let's pop a structural tube here so we can stick some monoprop inside it. Then we start shoving on our big fuel tanks. So maybe the Jumbo 64. I mean, it is quite big. I feel like maybe too big. So we should get rid of the oxidizer. And we also want a... Actually, we can stick that on the actual tank itself. Then we want to add some engine plate. Let's triple and see what 3 of these nerve engines will get us. We don't necessarily want these to be that powerful when they go. But we do want them to go at the same time as these engines. See, 1549 is a bit like we're almost there as it is. We do also want to add some I reckon, since they're going to be docking like ship to ship, we don't need to worry too much about translation because we can rotate our things to point at each other. So I'm thinking of adding on the RCS thruster ports with a like so, but changing them to be the orthogonal 2-horn. So we basically just have them for forward, backward control, fine control, and maybe stick another couple at the bottom, like so. And that gives us hopefully should be enough for docking procedures. So yeah, we go 1500 meters per second. Thrust rate not great, but I can live with it. We can up that a bit with some radial tanks, I think. So I'm thinking maybe not 4, but why not 4? What engines we want? Fuel tanks. So let's just keep an eye on. So keep an eye on TWR. Aerodynamics. Oh yeah, before we do anything else, we want to feed these into the main tank, which should give us an extra 500 meters per second. Oh yeah, we need to we don't need the oxidizer in here. That gives us a bit more. Make sure we did drain the we drained the oxidizer up. That's alright, make these just white. So that gives us a bit of extra, 643 meters per second, so that's 2100, just about what we wanted. We'll get a little bit less when we stick some stylish caps on here, because I just think like uncapped things look ugly. So be able to get this horrendous thing into orbit, which is almost certainly going to need a catamaran style launcher, and probably quite a big one at that, with many boosters, many boosters. Okay, so this is still a variant long, isn't it? I think medium long is what we want for nukes. My God. What we're looking at now, what? 92 tons. So we've got 100 tons to get into orbit. So what we're gonna first things first is we set ourselves up for the Let's make sure our staging is all right here. So that goes. We get our nuclear engines. We then ditch these. We then disconnect the the fuel truck stage. Oh, we want to stick a communication thing, but not 4 of them. We only want 1. We only need 1. So yeah, we disconnect this thing. Then we have which these engines come up. So we use these engines to I am really not on the ball tonight. So yeah, so the last I don't know how long you've been looking at the Delta V map and not me designing this ship. So I guess I'll go through what I've been doing for the past God knows how many minutes. Yeah, I'm not with it tonight. This is the content everyone signs up for, right? So yeah, we've got a thing launcher. This is our ascent stage up here. So this bit, yeah, so this bit's our ascent stage. These modules contain our parachutes and some power and attitude control, and also these fins, which will hopefully be which will make our center of drag high on our on our craft on descent, because as we want to be going down backwards, because we want our engines pointing downwards. So yeah, so that's those. So yeah, and this is our the bottom of our ascent stage with fins on the bottom, and hopefully we'll have enough juice to get far enough out of Duna's atmosphere so that we don't need to worry about aerodynamics when we stage. Then we have these, which are basically just for orbital maneuvering and for deorbiting ourselves. Which are basically around our heat shield, which is here, which is a big 10-meter heat shield, so that we can hopefully slow ourselves down with a nice amount of drag. Then we have some stack separator / decoupler to decouple our transfer stage, which has a docking port on a stick essentially, which will hopefully let us whatever fuel is left in this stage, we could use to top up the main ship when we dock with it. Then we have our transfer stage, which is the 3 nerve engines, a big tank, and some smaller tanks just feeding into it. So yeah, so now we have to get this whole thing into orbit, which it's about 100 tons. So for this, we're going to be doing a catamaran-style launch system, because I like the stability of catamarans. Probably like a 4-way catamaran, I think, just because I think we're going to need a lot of oomph to get this thing into orbit. So the plan will be to get a structural tube, 12, make it a little bit longer, just to give us a lot of stick a nice little nose cone on it, because this is basically where our fairing is going to close in around. And yeah, this will be a big launch, I think. I think my Duna lander was a big launch in my career save as well. Right, so we want Robota TD25, which that is the wrong length. Nope, put that back on. Make sure there's yep. Silly me. We definitely want it long then. There we go. Nice and long. So that's that. What were we doing? Oh yeah. Payload fairing, which I really hope is big enough, because if it isn't, we are in trouble. I think it should be, in theory. because we haven't gone any wider than Oh no. It's okay. These are a bit too far out, I think. That is fine. We can redo this. So instead of these ones, we want ones that are a bit closer in. Like so. We're gonna have to restrut these, and we're gonna have to modify them slightly so that they are a bit further down and not interfering with our legs so much. Like so, I think. Then we want to redo these struts because not all of them have worked. So, oh, it definitely hasn't worked. I think like these are probably about as good as one can hope for. Admittedly not the best. I think maybe we can move them slightly like one around. I like things will look better if they're like that. At least they're directly below now. Yeah, these haven't worked. Okay. Yeah, not still like little hint. Let's make sure our staging's fine. So these go along with what? What even are these? Oh, yeah, that's wrong. So yeah, those. Then these. Then these go with those two. Then we jettison these. Right. I think that's all fine. Okay. So, yep. Let's edit the fairing. Hopefully now we can actually get the fairing around it. There we go. Oh, these fins might be a problem. I mean, like a little bit of a problem. I do kind of want to keep the number of fins the same, so maybe if we widen them out a bit. Like that. I feel like it's going to be a little dodgy, but I mean, yeah, won't let me place it. Ah, no. I need those fins, damn it. Maybe there is a way we can get around this. So, like, I want the number of fins to be the same. maybe if I stick these up and pop these further around. Because I think it's a number of fins that are producing the drag. And these things only need to push them away as we detach them. So if we do that, then maybe that'll make things, like, I have no idea what the actual aerodynamic effect of this is. I'm just kind of hoping that it's the same. I mean, we can probably check by hopefully not ruining everything by taking all of this off, and I suppose it is, we are playing on hard mode, it is worth double checking. So let's do this. Let's put it, cool, yeah, aerodynamic. Center of lift is still above center of mass, which is what we want. So yeah, we stick all this back on here, and hopefully it hasn't fucked up the staging too much. We'll double check before, like, always check your staging. Pop this on top of here, and we have to figure out what. Let's go. Edit the fairing. Yay! Let's replace it. And close fairing. Cool. That's a very long and big. Which is okay. So let's just double check our staging. So fairing's gonna go. Then why have I put a hang on. I put a decoupler here. I don't need a decoupler because these engine plates are decouplers. If I do this, then now do I need to build the fairing again? I don't necessarily need to, but there we go. Okay, yeah, because that is a decoupler. So yeah, engine plate goes, these go, those go with these engines. Then we get rid of these engines. Then we have our heat shield stage, which actually we won't actually, yeah, that's the point. We won't be detaching the heat shield until we've done at least the drogue chutes. So we want to do this because we want to be on. We want to be like hanging from our. We want to be being slowed by parachutes, because otherwise, if we detach the heat shield, we're just going to be falling into the heat shield. And then I guess it'll be debatable whether or not we want to deploy the engines before the other. I mean, again, we can decide at the time. And then yeah, that's okay. I think that's all fine. So yeah, fairing. Gold isn't really that different. I do like silver. I think the silver looks nicer. Do these have any color options? They do. It's all really aesthetic, isn't it? Okay, so we have our thing, which we now need to get it to orbit somehow. Lots and lots of rockets, basically. So we're going to do a 4-way catamaran launcher, which is almost certainly going to be taxing the limits of the engines we have unlocked. I mean, yeah, I'd be surprised if this thing even has a thrust-to-weight ratio of altitude curbing. I'd be surprised if this thing even has a thrust-to-weight ratio. Oh, it's nearly 1. It's nearly 1. Okay, that's good. It means that we have the chance of a slim chance of like 4 more of these with massive rockets actually being able to lift this thing into it, like anything resembling the atmosphere. So coupling. We want a 4-way. Definitely gonna be. Actually, I do want to do try asparagus staging again. So we get 4 of these just as a reference point. And we go into 2-way symmetry. Add this here. Yeah, structural. Probably want a couple of these. Yeah, couple. There we want. Let's hook up the struts. Everything is struts. We then hit up the main sails again. And again, we want all of them to go. There you go, so we're already at 1.84, so we should be able to add some more fuel to these. So let's keep an eye on the thrust to weight ratio. If we start getting down towards a 1, then we're gonna have a problem. You see, we're already at 1.4. And we want one of these, I think. Start getting narrower, so we're not having as much fuel load on. We still got quite a lot of a fuel tank to go. 1.23. .20, 0.17, 1.14. I think that's probably okay. 1.12, 2,000 meters per second though, so hopefully we'll aerodynamics. That. Then strutty. Can we change this color scheme to that? Okay, that's long. So they all fire together. These go, and then in theory, if we Alt click and try and line these up with the bottom of here, roughly, like so. And we take these. We do that. Then we need to make sure that, so yeah, all of these going at the same time. Yeah, those ones going first, then these ones. There you go, 3,600 meters per second. I feel like probably want some more struts. We can get rid of these now. Add some more struts here just for good measure. This thing is going to be like... I also want oh yes, I forgot to do separatrons, like separation before. Separation before duplication, so bear with us. Where are the mites? They usually seem to be pretty good. Stick them up there. Rotate them. And shove them in here, like so. We then have this, we make sure that these are in the same stage as these. Yes, we try duplicating them to like here, but then make sure that these are in the same stage as these. And then we should, hopefully the staging should be the same, so if we try popping this down here, so that we get some... Okay, God. This is going to be a fun launch, guys. And gals. Okay, so yeah. And we also want some fins, because yeah, we need to actually like establish where our center of pressure is going to be. I think I always like to go with the delta winglet. And our center of mass is... yeah, it's alright. And what is 1.14? It's not the best off the pad. 1.11, then 1.98. It's over 1, which is alright. I feel like maybe we could do with some SRBs. Just to give us... again, we want to be like 1.14, we want to be like a little more. So I guess just like strap on the biggest SRBs we have. So let's just whap on. Oh yeah, we're going to need let's just pop this at the top here, facing like the opposite side. SRB. Thoroughbred? I think thoroughbreds are Okay, so I mean, these are going then, and these are going at the same time as these, which gives us what? That's a bit more like it, 1.34. We stick some aerodynamics on top of here. We do some strutting, because nothing is better than structure. And hopefully, if we get some separatrons, just a little to push them away. Make sure these go at the same time as these. And then we oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. God damn it. Never mind. Alt to duplicate. Place them around here. Aye. The hell are you connecting to? How are we looking for? Let's try and line all these up with I may have forgotten to strut up to the side. This is fine. The question is, I feel like if we try lining up so that the engines are about flat, then we should have everything in alignment. About there. You're a bit low. So, what about there? Yeah, I'll do. And then hopefully all of these are going at the same time. Burns at 80 seconds. This appears to have no burn time, so I feel like these things are going to be burning for longer than the liquid fuel engines. However, I guess we can 1.47, which is probably what we want. I mean, we can try and launch it, and if it goes horrendously wrong, then it goes horrendously wrong. Again, we're not launching this with any kernels in it, so it'll be a firework display if it doesn't work. What we do need is a hell load of these. So I'm feeling, yeah, I think our first set of engines is going to conk out before the SRBs do. Will these even fit? this is yeah 330,000 kerbucks of raw rocket power. So these are all, so it's check staging. So all these go along with all of our engines. Yeah, all of our engines. This stage has a 1.47 thrust to weight ratio, delta V of 1575. It looks like we jettison these first, so all four of these go. Then we get rid of this set, which gives us this gives us another 2,000. Oh, okay, I think. Oh no, I think these. Yeah, I feel like maybe these do go first. We get 2,000. 33 meters per second out of this stage. Oh, I guess, because these don't. There aren't any new engines coming online. We're just getting rid of stuff here, I think. So maybe that's why. Then we pop these. We have 705 meters per second after that. So that should be way more than we need. And again, our thrust to weight ratio is never dropping below 1. I think we dropped slightly below 1 here, but we should hopefully be nearly in orbit by then. So yeah, alright, we're going to try and get this thing into orbit. Essence on the word try. Oh yeah, we need to do our staging as well, our action groups, because our main ship is going to have action group 0 or action group 10 for toggling our solars and toggling our antenna. I think that's all we need for that. Cool. So let's save it, and let's not launch it just yet, to make sure our cargoes that we got. I think that should be enough. Crew. Actually, we'll deal with the crew in a second because we're going to save, and we're gonna launch it using the launch pad from the KSP because we want to make sure we're launching like during the day, which it is during the day. So launch pad, landing on Duna. Nope. We're launching this thing unmanned because hit that launch button. Remember to switch my thing, so you hope you can actually see what's going on, and hope this thing doesn't melt my computer. Alright, we think up is up. That's good. Turn on SAS. Let's just hope that this is even like let's queue up a reasonable thing. Throttles to maximum and hit it. Oh wow, yeah. Start going over a bit, not too much. We don't want to be a little bit conservative with our gravity turn here. That'll do. Line up the prograde. Yeah, I think the timing of this is going to be a little bit we are nearing more minutes to apoapsis, so which is what we want. So maybe we want to kind of we're still gaining, we're still gaining speed. Still gaining speed. Okay, right. still gaining speed. We want to be slowing down a bit, to be honest. We're about to run out of fuel on these, so... we're... have we run out of... yeah, we have. Six. There we go. I think we're already, like, our bus is nearly out of the atmosphere already. There we go. We wanna go a bit faster. I wonder if we can rotate ourselves a bit. Not too much. I'm just a bit wary of having our... I'll do. Slow down a bit. We're going a bit to 80 kilometers. We can let ourselves get a bit closer to. We're in space now as well, which means that we're not gonna be slowing down due to drag. So we get ourselves a bit closer to our collapses now and start putting more of our effort into raising our periapsis rather than. So we start. We're gaining speed again. Oh yeah, more. We've still got 769 meters, so we might be able to, I think we can get into orbit with just these two. I think we can probably use some of the that last stage to get us on our way to Duna. I do like putting too much fuel on, like building ships that are way too big. So let's go up to again about 40. Let's stage and hit like that. We're in orbit now. So I reckon there's no one on this. So also, when did we actually say this was going to go? I have a feeling we haven't put any where is this in our staging? Oh, it's way up there. Let's yeah, we forgot about this. Let's drag this after here, because that's where it goes. And I reckon we probably have 86.5, and we're about 6 minutes away from apoapsis, so let's get rid of that. Let's see how, well, I imagine our rotation is going to be, oh yeah, let's get our solars out, because we want to be able to actually, like, charge our batteries and we're not burning our engine. But look how slow this thing is. Look how long it is. So I just want to jettison this when we're pointing that way, so it's not in our way. Let's pop ourselves back to prograde. So slow. And yeah, we've got 771 meters per second of delta V left in this thing. That'll be nice. That'll nicely get us most of the way to the edge of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Right, where were we? We are 5 minutes from. Let's get ourselves closer to. Let's do that, and let's let her come back, slowly come back around to prograde. Basically, planets to nudge us into a roughly circular orbit. Now, 86.4, 86.6. Right, I think that's nicely in orbit, so I feel like we can leave this. Successful launch, hopefully a successful landing on Duna eventually, but yeah, this thing looks quite preposterous, to be honest. It is not. It's not that dissimilar to my last Duna Lander design. The only thing I've really learned from my first attempt at Duna landing is to make sure that the aerodynamic profile is what we want for each stage. But he is. So let's head back to the Space Center. Leave our leave our Duna lander in orbit. Quick check on this thing. Still got 69, 69 days. Nice. 44 days till we get some science from Moon or Equatorial Station. So I'm thinking if we design our, if like first things first, we design a lander for Ike and a suitable craft to get that into orbit of Ike. It's probably our next thing. So I guess we go to the VAB and do some more vehicle building. We don't need you anymore. Right, so we set ourselves up for Ike. Just here. Yep, vacuum. I think we'll just have a more standard. Oh, we have the Lunar Excursion module now. I don't think it's really intended for Ike, but I've never actually used it before, so I'm kind of tempted to try. See if we can build one of these that will land on Ike. Takes 2 Kerbals, has some fuel on board. Yeah, and some monoprop. I don't think this thing will take a large coupling. Clampetron is the only thing. I mean, it kind of does. I mean, it's not. It doesn't look too ridiculous. Let's stick ourselves a. We had it. There we go. 804 meters per second, 0.75 TWR. That's not quite gonna cut it. I'm not sure if this thing is even capable of doing a landing and ascent on Ike. It's definitely going to struggle doing an ascent with this little thing. Maybe this, but with a bare mount. It's even worse. How is that even worse? I mean, yeah, we've got 260 meters per second. We've got thrust to weight ratio 0.57. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. It's got more thrust than this one does. I guess it also weighs more. Yeah, it weighs considerably more. I guess that's what's going on. Not you. Do we have anything in the middle? Let's double check what we need to actually land on Ike. 390 to land or take off. Okay, that's fine. Remember to go back to the VAB this time, because otherwise you'll be able to see what I'm doing. As well as we've got these as well, maybe we can so that we got 0.75. Maybe we can stick a couple of side-mounted ones on. Give us a little bit more. 1.98 is better for the ascent. 760 should be more than enough delta V. Again, we only need about 400. I do kind of want to still some science experiments on here, though, so we'll see what the results are when we have a couple of, if we even can fit a couple of these bad boys on. And again, they're not very heavy, but they will reduce the let's be a bit naughty and clip these in a bit. Like so. We could maybe add a bit more. Again, we've got a bit of thrust to weight ratio to spare, so maybe we can knock some. We can add a little more fuel. Maybe like. Maybe we go with a free mount, like so. Oh yeah, I guess there's way more than we need. Yeah. Kind of works. I don't mind the way that looks. Gives us a bit more delta V. Gives us a little bit less in terms of our thrust to weight ratio. Oh, 0.66. It's not great, but it's again, I'm not landing on this, so I think for taking off it should be okay. Maybe we can make these like free as well. There you go, 2.13. I'm happy with that. 1004 meters per second. That is our ascent stage. Again, first time I'm ever actually using this thing, so then I guess we have our descent stage, which will also contain our landing legs and our and all of our like science modules, and hopefully our ladders as well. Because I think if we can get a ladder up to here, then we can. So yeah, if we stick a TD12 decoupler. And then we have our landing stage on a one of these maybe. What do you think? TEP18 engine plate. Stick a couple of attach nodes on here. Oh yeah, we actually also want to add our science experiments, don't we? Which will be a bit more of a how can we get a science junior down with us? I guess try and do something we can counterbalance. So let's set ourselves up with our landing legs for now. Oh, actually, let's just make sure that we've got enough leeway in our engine. So I'm thinking a couple of Terriers, bare mount. Oof. No, that's not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it at all. 1.35 isn't great. But it's in the right direction. Eight by 1. 1,000 and 0.2. Oh wait, no, that's because we're only using one of them. Oh yeah. 2.24. Why is this so difficult? I know they didn't have this problem previously. I think I had a single stage lander last time as well. More engines. 927, that's a lot of engines. There isn't a smaller version of the fuel tank, is there? That's the, I know there is. Maybe we can do better. Maybe we just bring in too much fuels. No, I don't think that's the problem. Should, like, again, these should be more efficient because their ISP is 345 versus 320. So this is what 0.5 tons, 60 kilonewtons of thrust versus 0.13 for 20. So these are still more thrust per unit mass, I think. Because yeah, so we have 9 of these, which will be the same as 3 of these, which yeah, it is lighter. Again, I just want more. Maybe this two-stage lander design is a bit silly. Maybe there's a way of improving this a bit. Let's try adding not 8 of these. Let's try adding a couple of these. Yeah, it's getting worse. Not sure about this. I mean, on the moon, it has way more than it needs. And Ike isn't that much bigger than it is. Oh, there we go. There you are. There we go. 29. That's our problem. Yeah, okay. So yeah, for some reason, like the thrust to weight ratio calculations again, 20.86 is way too much. That's annoying when this happens. Right, let's rethink this. So this has got 1100. 20.86, which is way too much. So I think we take these off. Let's see what it is. 6.68. This is fine. Like that's fine. Probably don't need these. We're on 25.1, so we're probably going to need like 3 of these. Again, I think this sort of like matches with what I was seeing before. Was like yeah, 9.46 again. It's like if anything, probably want attached nodes double probably. Yeah, I think this definitely tracks better with 6.45. That's about perfect. So this tracks better. This tracks with my previous experience building an Ike Lander. Like it wasn't this difficult to get thrust to weight ratio. So I'm not sure what it was set to, but it was obviously set to something a bit wrong. This is a lot more. This is a lot more like it. I think what we'll do, because we haven't got any batteries or solar yet, and again I'm not sure about fitting the Science Junior. This thing does have reaction wheels, doesn't it? Doesn't seem to, apparently. Oh, we can worry about that. I mean, so we don't necessarily need reaction wheels on. I said that reaction wheels are going to be useful for like landing, so I'm thinking we put it on, at least put it on the lander. Does this not have any reaction wheels? Because yeah, reaction wheel. This one apparently doesn't have one. I definitely want to put a reaction wheel on it. We can be sneaky and sneak a reaction wheel in here. Does look a bit silly though. Kinda works. I think that's probably a few too many reaction wheels, but there you go. Let's hit some electrical. And let's pop a solar panel on the front here. Okie dokie. Let's just make sure our center of mass isn't too squiffy. Seems fine. Ground, let's get some landing struts. Let's have more than one of them. Cool, let's see what the what lobbing a science junior on the side is going to do. Yeah, it's putting us a bit off center. So this thing weighs 0.2 tons. So we want to stick 0.2 tons worth of stuff on this side. Of which these will not really work. 0.05. 0.05. What else have we got that we need? Again, we could 0.02 tons. What does this structural component weigh? 0.1, which is like half of what we need. This looks silly. Although I think we're trying to find weight to add to this side. I guess we just like try shoving everything we need. Although we, what does the ladder weigh? 0.05. Yeah, again, not great. Oh, we want one, so. So yeah, all of our other science combined is 0.05. And then, yeah, so 0.06. Yeah. Maybe we can make it a bit better by clipping it in a bit. It's not so bad now. What's our center of thrust like? Not quite lined up. Is there a fuel tank that weighs the same? 0.3, 0.12, 0.225. Give us a little bit of extra fuel. Yeah, it's just a little bit out of alignment, isn't it? Let's add our science experiments to this side and see what happens. I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, I guess we'll probably have enough hopefully have enough thing in our reaction wheels to be able to countermand it. But it's a very, very slight misalignment. And again, what we got? 5.73? Yeah, it should be fine. I want to add a communication thing as well, because this is going to be staying on the surface, so might as well have a relay. We want to have an antenna on this as well. Let's stick a little communitron on here. That's probably close enough to I'm not sure about this one. I feel like maybe this one we want to swap for the longer one with a view to. Let's turn these off for a second. Don't want aerodynamic overload. We want this turned off, right? I'm just thinking if we can angle this so that it's if we can just tweak this so that it leads right up to the door. Is my idea. Again, we're on Ike. It should be a no, not that one. Again, we're on Ike, so it should be fine. But I'd rather have the ladder and not need it. There we go. So this is going to be an Ike Lander, assuming the Kraken doesn't take exception to it. Let's make this the short variant because I don't really need much thought. Again, 5.68 on the way down, 6.12 on the way up. I feel like that'll so yeah, we just need to get this thing into orbit around Ike, which again we need like 2000 delta V, which should be easy for this thing. This thing weighs like 6.5 tons. We should be able to get this into orbit around Ike with relative ease. And we could probably bring a whole load of extra fuel with us. So we're going to do the don't need this to be anywhere near that long. There we go. Turn off the shroud for now. do this thing again with the structural tube. Yeah, I think that'll work this time actually. Stick one of these up. And then we want a... Do there any structural things to... I don't think this is what I want, is it? No. Almost. Almost. Good old payload. Doop. 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 Oh, you turn the shroud back on. We want a... Oh yeah, we want to do the naming, don't we? Configure vessel naming, Ike Lander. Yep, priority 10, accept. Open this. Configure vessel naming. Ike Lander probe 1, accept. Clues. We want to grab a, not payload, we want the structure, we want a T25 cyclical tube. Actually, I think we'll stick the, we'll have the, what should we call it, the monopropellant tanks on the outside, I think. So let's just start off with, we probably don't need like a full-on, because again this thing isn't very, very heavy, so I think we'll probably be able to get away with like relatively few, little fuel, etc. So let's go with 2 attached nodes and see what 2 of these nuclear engines get us. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that, TLR 4.67. Okay, let's make this like carbon vacuum. 0.52, that's more like it. 2800 meters per second should be fine. Let's get any better with 3. That's alright, 2400. I feel like that'll be enough to get us into orbit around Ike. We want a communitron. Only want the one there. We will want some monopropellant tanks, just a couple of them, just to give us a bit of control. I have to figure that'll do for our. Oh, we're nearly at 2 hours. Okay. Let's see if we can quickly do a launch system just to get this thing into orbit. We won't launch it today, but we'll. Well, or I might actually leave it here actually because we're coming up on 2 hours. It's not been the most seamless stream. I've made a couple of mistakes and left things on the wrong screen, or like not managed to turn my notice my microphone's not working. So I feel like it's probably best if I quit while I'm behind. But yes, this is basically I think we'll finish this off. We'll build the launch system for this, get this into orbit. Yeah, it's basically a lot of prep work for going to Duna. So we want this thing. We want a comnet set up to go to Duna so we can maintain communication. Then yeah, and then we want a launcher to basically deliver our crew to the main ship. Will be the plan. So yeah, we've got to finish this off, launch this, comnet, launch that, and then probably try and get the science from the moon space station, and try and unlock the last few parts, and then load those parts as cargo, with a view to essentially like doing EVA engineering to add the extra science experiments to these things before we need to use them. Would be the plan. So yes. So I'll save this. I will actually, before I forget, we'll go to the Minmus base and set up the alarm for the next lot of 500 science, because we forgot to do that. Let's go there. Invite, there we go. And watch it bounce. A little tiny hop, probably. Assume the game doesn't crash. There you go, it is in the dock. But in theory, if we set up the next alarm for Science Lab, 500 science, another 34 days, so we're still gonna get another set of science from Minmus before we get it from the moon, so we might do that then, because that still gives us 30 days before our Duna transfer window, and then hopefully we can get ourselves nicely set up. But yeah, so let's go back to the Space Center with that set up, and we'll call it an evening, I think. So let's save game and quit. It's main menu. I think it should just be the standard like drifting. Oh no, we're on the moon's surface. There we go. Because I think normally like what you come back to depends on whether or not you land on something. I think. So yeah, I guess because we were on Minmus, we're on the surface. I guess it decided we landed on something, so it gave us the landed version of the titles when we came back. Let's wait for that. But yes, I hope people who are watching have enjoyed. And again, I apologise for the streaming faux pas. There've been a couple. I guess can't get it right every time. Hopefully, it's not been too boring watching, like looking at the Delta V map whilst I thought you could see what I was building in the VAB. And hopefully you didn't miss my amazing commentary for the first like 7 minutes. Trust me, you didn't miss much. But yeah, so hopefully, if you're watching on YouTube, then like and subscribe. Yeah, you don't have to. I'm not that bothered. Anyway, I will hopefully see you guys on Sunday. Again, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. here. Do some more stuff. Hopefully, you actually start looking at getting ready to go to Duna. And do our first sort of set of landings, etc. in a new planetary system. But yes, yep, hopefully see you then. But until then, cheerio.